going on today, guys? So today we are going to do a little bit of a bow review. I've seen a lot of reviews on a lot of the big name brand bows, but I haven't seen too many reviews on the bow that I use. The bow that I use is an Obsession. They're made right here in Georgia. I know Dennis very well. I know he sold the company back in 2015, but he's still there as a partner. But they're still continuing to make bows, and they are also going to be dropping a new line of bows in December. That's all the details I can give you right now, but it is all in the works. So without further ado, let's look into the Obsession bows. So this is my bow, is one of theirs in their lineup. It is the Obsession HB33. And like all Obsessions, you can get them in any different color that you want, any camo pattern, all the way down to the treason pattern. They have that pattern as well. You can get it on the limbs or the riser. I chose to go with the mossy oak bottomland on the riser, and I went with the black limbs and the orange cam with the black mods and the flow green strings. I am running a AAE hot rods front and rear bar, and their own AAE rear bar mount. I'm running a Trophy Ridge React. The React technology, you set your 20 and 30, and then the rest will fall in line based on the speed of your bow and your arrows. I'm running a Trophy Taker Extreme Pro arrow rest. It is a cable driven. I do not like a limb driven just because it can get a lot of slack in the line. You have to readjust the tension on those a lot more, and it's a longer line, or I should say a longer cable that could get snagged as you're running and gunning through the woods. So I like a cable driven rest. It's got the full capture all the way around it to hold the arrow in. And it is just the whale tail design, as you can see right there. So when it comes up, the arrow will sit down in place. What else? Let's see. The bows come with America's Best bowstrings. They were already pre-stretched and everything like that. They do come in, I think it is anywhere from 40 to 80 pound limbs. And you can get the short draw cam, which is actually a 24 to 25 and a half inch draw if you wanted that short. But I'm running the long draw cam, which is a 26 all the way up to 30. The IBO speed of this bow is actually 348. It only weighs 3.9 pounds without everything on it. Obviously, with everything on it, I'm still right at that 4.9 to 5 pound mark. So when you get the other bows, other companies, you're looking at a 4.5 to 5 pound bow, just a bare bow. I'm at that same weight with everything on it. Now, I know that a lot of people like the heavier bows that is more stable as far as your target practice, and your pin will stay more steady and all that kind of stuff. And if you're shooting, competition, a heavier bow is the way I would go for that, yes. But for hunting purposes, I want to run and gun. I want to be more mobile, whether I'm in a climber or a saddle. So I like a lighter bow. It is lighter. It doesn't hold as steady as a heavier bow. But the more you practice with it, the better you'll be with it anyway, the more efficient you'll be. And of course you can, like I've done, add more weights, with the bars. And when I hunt, I do hunt with the quiver on. That's why I'm running a back bar with, 10 ounces of weight on the back. So like I said, I do shoot with the quiver on. As far as the bow itself, it does have a shorter brace height. It is only a 6-inch brace, or 6.25 inch brace height. So it being a 33.25 axle to axle and that short of a brace height at my weight that I have it on, which is 75 pounds, the first initial pull is a bear. I'm not going to lie. It is a lot to hold or a lot to pull at first, but once you get past the first, I'd say 6 inches of draw cycle, it dumps back down to where it's actually just like any other bow out there, real comfortable, real easy to draw. Once you get past the first 6 to 8 inches of the draw cycle. As far as the back wall, it does actually have both ways that most bows have. It does have the string stops on the actual mods, and it does have a limb stop. So once you're in that back wall, it is kind of comparable to, let's say, an Elite. They have that real dead back wall, real stiff back wall, so you can pull back on it and just hold it and keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and there's no sponge, there's no give, there's no nothing. I love that. I don't really like pulling a bow back and being able to be in my anchor point and still have that little bit of give in the string if you're running just a cable stop. But then this one's running a limb stop. Once I'm there, it's locked and it's not going anywhere. So we'll get to shooting in here in a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean with that. Let's see, what else can I say about the bow? I mean, there's really nothing else I can say about it that's any downsides. It is a lot cheaper than some of the other flagship bows out there. I think this one retails about $600 for the bare bow. I know a lot of other companies out there, they'll retail for a bare bow, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. And they're actually running a larger brace height, same axle, but they're actually running about a 330 or 340 IBO. This one, in my opinion, I say it's my opinion, but I've shot it through a chronograph. I'm still shooting 515 grain arrow at 275 feet per second with this bow, and I've only got a 28-inch draw. So that's kind of speaks volume in my mind as far as the speeds of these bows, and they are very underrated, and not a lot of people know about them. But because I am good friends with Dennis, and I was able to get my hands on one, so it really speaks volumes to me as far as how this bow performs, and it's all of their lineup. I believe, with the exception of 2 of their bows, are running this same cam. This is their hybrid RZ cam. And with their hybrid, they have, just like any other hybrid cam, the power cams in the bottom and your roller cams up top, and you have a rotating mod. So the let off on this thing ranges anywhere from 80 to 90. And I like to run a lower, what do you call it? A lower valley, I guess you could say, or a lower percentage let off, because I just like the way it feels better when I draw it, and as I'm holding, I like to hold a little bit more of the weight. I don't like the feeling of a big valley or a big dump off or a high percent let off. Yeah, it's easier to hold for a long time, yes, but I'm not planning on holding for a long time. I'm not typically, me personally, I don't draw unless I'm ready to let one go. I'm not going to draw and then wait and hope that deer steps out behind that tree. I'm going to draw as soon as he steps in front, does step behind the tree. But that's just me. So to each their own. You can set it up however you want. But like I said, I don't have anything bad to really say about this bow. It did take me some getting used to for that first initial draw, because it does have a shorter brace height, and being at 75 pounds with only a 80% let off, it is kind of a bear to draw back at first. But like I said, that was really only for the first 6 to 8 inches of the draw. The rest of that draw cycle is smooth as any of them. So yeah, let's get to shooting, and we'll go over some more things about it as I shoot. So I'm about to shoot this thing a little bit here. I'm just set back just 20 yards, nothing crazy. Just give you a little review on how the bow shoots, how it feels, all that kind of stuff. Tell you what, I really love this full capture arrow rest. Holds that arrow in there, so when you have it set and ready, that arrow ain't going anywhere no matter what you do with it. So, let's just get to shooting here. Let's see how I shoot today at 20. Hopefully I hit the target at least. Real smooth draw. Like I said, with those limb stops, it does not, there's no give. No matter how hard I pull back, I could snap these strings by pulling back. Alright, let's let one go here. Alright. Dead in the hand. Just like an elite. Doesn't vibrate. You know, it did a little when I had, before I put the, the front and rear back bar on it and added all that weight to it. It did kind of have a little bit of vibration after shot, but now it's completely dead. I've shot an elite, I've shot a Hoyt, I've shot Matthews, I've shot Bear. Back when I had the elite, that's their slogan, the most shootable bow. So is this. There with that limb stop, it's just like it. It's just like the elite. Completely dead on the back wall. Completely dead in the hands. It's quiet. I was shooting I think my lightest arrow setup for this bow. When I first got it, I think I was around that 420 grain mark, somewhere around there. But now I've switched broadhead companies. I'm running VPA broadheads now, and their lightest one is 125 grain. So I had to redo my arrow configuration to be able to keep the FOC that I want. I run a 20% FOC. So I had to go a little heavier, and obviously, just like any of them, when you go at a heavier arrow, it's actually going to quieten the bow down. So this bow did get a lot quieter. But it's smooth drawing. It's fast. Even, like I said, even with a 500 grain arrow, I'm still running 275. So surprisingly, a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. So everybody says that they, a lot of bow companies, kind of fluctuate with their IBO, or they'll even post it, a lot higher than what it is. But this bow, I've seen these bows shoot, 350 grain arrows at, 80 pounds with a 30-inch draw. I've seen them do, exactly 348. So they'll do it. Me running 270, I'm just like T-Bone. If I can get a 500 grain arrow anywhere between 250 to 280, I'm happy. So if I'm at 275 with a 515 grain arrow, I'm extremely happy. And that's my review on the HB33 by Obsession. Y'all don't fall asleep on Obsession. Go check them out. They are a lot cheaper, and they're just as fast, if not faster, than anybody else out there. Their draw cycle is a little different. Not like I said before, it is a little stiff, but they're running a shorter brace height. So it is going to be faster. It is going to be a tougher pull, but your muscles will get used to it. I promise you. So that's my review on the HB33. Hope y'all like it. Make sure to follow, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you on the next round.